I'm wondering what is going on with my life. I at least want to know what could be wrong with me. If I would take a Bible, try to meditate on it, try to read it, I don't feel like reading it. I'll still feel like I'm drained. And oftentimes I'll ask God, what do I need to do, God? What is it that I still lack? And this question, it has been there. And I'll be like, sometimes I'll be on fire for God, and sometimes my heart will go cold. And in those moments, I'll ask God, what went wrong? Why am I relaxing in things that does not give me life? What do I need to do? And then I had a dream early this year that God spoke to me. He just came and looked at me straight in my eyes and said, you are healed, because I was experiencing some pain in my body. I'll talk about that in another time. It's a testimony on its own. And then he came with a white dove and sat on my shoulder, on my left shoulder. And then from there I ran off and told people that I saw Jesus in my dream, but they did not believe me. And so when I woke up, I was like, did I really have I seen Jesus? But I kept on saying that I'm not worthy to see him. Maybe it was just my thinking, it was just my thoughts, it was maybe just my longing and nothing extra. And I was like, okay. I continued with my life. I continued just reading the Bible and praying, and sometimes I'll go to church when my friends will invite me. And in the moments that I'll be very, very close to God, like really immerse myself in His Spirit, I would encounter with Him, but in some moments I'll just depart from His presence. And I kept on asking myself, like, why is these things happening to me? And then God would take me back to that dream. And that dream was also a second dream, because I had one last year. It was the end, or was it in the middle? Yeah, just confirming the same thing, that when I saw Jesus, but I kept quiet. I didn't tell anybody. I'll both talk about those dreams. I'll share them next time. But today I just want to talk about not doing what we are called to do can separate us from God, because He has called us to be His disciple. And in the journey of working for Him, in the journey of discipling other people, in the journey of sharing the gospel, that is when God reveals His things even the more. I've realized I did not need to just commit to have schedules. I've realized that I just needed to do what God called me to do, and that was to share the gospel. And everything else will fall naturally. I don't need to force it. I don't need to schedule my time that at 3 I have to pray, and then I will pray again at 7 in the evening, and then I will read my Bible. Believe me, I have tried that as well. it will really get me in the mood of serving God, but it would not take more than a week, and then I'm back again in my coldness, in my lukewarmness. And then I'll be wondering to myself, like, what am I doing wrong again? And so I'll just wonder, maybe there's just something in me that is incomplete. But it's just the same way. If I would take an example of people that are working for money, you wake up in the morning and you go to work, and for you to get paid, you should be there. And I'll take my example of being called to work for God, to be His ambassador. But yet I don't go to work. I don't work at all, but still I expect Him to pay me at the end of the month. And then I realized that it doesn't work like that. For God to reward me, I must have been doing something. For God to bless me, for God to pour out into me, I gotta do something. I cannot just sit and wait on God to move, when indeed He was the one who called me. So I just wanted to share on how important it is to do what we are called to do. And even when I just stood up and said, let me just record this and share with people about my experiences, I did not feel the need to do it. I did not feel the motivation to do it whatsoever. But then I told myself, God, if you're willing, if your spirit is there, if this is indeed what you want me to do, I'm going to stand up and record. Even if it does not make sense, I'm going to say something. Even if I don't feel like doing it, I'm still going to do it. And I'll see what will come out of it. But sometimes we really feel like that. Sometimes we feel like we don't want to do anything. Sometimes we don't even want to pray. Sometimes we don't just even want to devote to God. But it's okay not to feel the fire in your heart, for as long as you are not willing to settle for the lukewarmness or for the coldness that your heart feels. Like, even if I feel demotivated to pray, stand up and still do so. Stand up and still open your mouth, because the word says that it's not us who pray, but the Holy Spirit intercede for us. So it's not for us to tell ourselves that I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and whatnot. Just stand up and do something. Just take a first step. The step of faith, and God will take over. For as long as He sees that your heart is willing to do something, do it. Just do it wholeheartedly. Do it even if it does not encourage you. But knowing that it's something that might please God. And if He sees that you're doing it with a genuine heart, I know He will bless you. He will bless us. And that is what exactly I decided to do now. I decided that I'm just going to stand up and do something. And just say something. I just say anything that will come to my mind. Because when we are not also doing anything, and when we are not doing what we are called to do, it's a sin on its own. Because we are sitting on our talents. We are sitting on our assignments. And that is what happened to Jonah as well, I bet. Because at first he refused, he did not want to go. But what happened to him as a result of not wanting to do what God called him to do? He ended up in a fish mouth. In the fish stomach. So it's really important to just do what we are called to do, and God will bless us even more. I'm sharing this to everybody who would listen to this and just realize that how much time we are wasting by not doing anything and wanting God to do everything for us. It's not like that. Imagine if you are in a relationship, your girlfriend or your boyfriend would make up an excuse like for the whole month they will not communicate to you, and when once they will come back, they'll say like, I was busy. How would you feel? Like the whole month you're just telling me that you couldn't even get time to just say, maybe I'm caught up with this and that, and I'm not gonna be available. Like they just go mute and not say anything, but still they will still come back and claim that I love you and whatnot. You still believe them? In my case, I wouldn't, because if you really love somebody, you make up. You just make an effort. If you can't really be there, you will inform them that I can't be available for this certain period of time, but you can't just disappear. God relates to us in the same way. Like we relate to God in the same way as well. We can't tell God that we love Him, but when we decide to go away from Him, we expect Him to be like, God, I know you're watching, but I'm too busy right now. So I guess we're really wasting time, and we don't have much time to waste. Then we just open our lips, open our mouth and say something. If it is God's plan for our life, if it's really indeed what He has called us to do, He will prove Himself. He will manifest Himself through our voices and through our everything that we will do for Him. Not to say really do for Him, but things that we will do to invite Him in our lives. Yeah, that is what I wanted to share just for now. And I hope everybody will be blessed by this and start doing something for God, rather just to pray and to receive revelations and to receive some things that you would want to share, but still you keep it to yourself and be selfish about it and not share with other people. I hope that this will encourage you to go out there and share. No matter how little it might seem, it might change somebody else's life, and it will change it for the good and for the better. And not changing, when I mean changing, I mean like helping other people building their relationship with God, with Christ, just to encourage them to get closer to God. And God can do the rest. We don't have to do everything. We just have to prove that what God has called us to do is not something that we can escape from, because that is the only thing that will give us life, will give us peace in our heart. And you know, when you do what your Father is calling you to do, you feel alive, you feel more obedient to Him, you feel more you feel more of an obedient child, you know. And your Father, when your Father is proud of you, He will bless you, and you feel and you walk in that presence, and you can never really want to just live without His presence, His blessings, His favor upon our lives. So if you want that, we gotta go out there and share the gospel, the living gospel of Christ.